So, the first positive contribution of British rule was the self-sufficiency in food grain production. Though the agriculture was commercialized, but still India was self-sufficient in food grains. It helped India to become self-sufficient in food grains. Better means of transportation. As I said, with the development of railways, air transport, post and telegraph, there was a national integration. People were coming together, okay, which was earlier not possible. So this development of roads and railways opened up new opportunities of economic and social growth. Check on famines. Roads and railways worked as a great check on the occurrence and impact of famines, as food supplies could be transported to the affected areas. Earlier, what was the problem? That roads were not good. People could not, there were many places did not have roads only, so reaching those places was very difficult during the famines. So after this introduction of roads and railways, it became easier. Shift to monetary economy. Earlier there was barter economy. From the barter economy, British rule helped to shift to the monetary economy. Effective administrative setup. The British government had an effective administration system which served as a ready reckoner of Indian politicians. So the British government had an efficient administrative system. Obviously, they had exploited India just because they were united and they implemented the policies, whether it is good for India or bad, they implemented in such a way that the administration was very good and there was law and order. And thus this gave our Indian politicians an idea how to govern the economy. Okay. Next, the state of Indian economy on the eve of independence. First, it was a colonial economy. Okay. Spread for over 200 years. British rule resulted in a huge drain of wealth from India. They also encouraged commercialization of agriculture. The impact of the British colonial policy was deep on India even at the time of independence. Semi-feudal economy. By the close of the British period, there was two aspects of Indian economy: introduction of feudal system, introduction of capitalist system. The land settlement system gave birth to feudal relations. The landlords used to charge very high rate of lagan and very cruel to the cultivators. The establishment of modern industries led to creation of two classes, capitalists and laborers. So with the British period, there came two aspects of the Indian economy: feudal system as well as capitalist system. The Land Settlement Act brought about the emergence of landlords who charged very high lagan and was very much exploited the farmers. With the modern industries which were coming up, there were two classes in the economy: capitalists and laborers. Stagnant economy. A stagnant economy is one which is not growing, or it is growing at a very low rate. On the eve of independence, Indian economy was a stagnant economy. Okay. Country's growth of aggregate real output during the first half of the 20th century was less than 2%, and growth in per capita output was only 0.5. So you can imagine what a low growth rate it was. Okay, obviously when the output will be so low, the growth rate has to be low, and thus it was a stagnant economy with a very low growth rate. Okay. Next, backward economy. At the end of the British rule, Indian economy was backward and underdeveloped. When the British rule ended, India was so much exploited that it was backward and underdeveloped, with low level of productivity, low per capita income, traditional methods of agriculture, high birth rate and death rate, and mass illiteracy. India was already suffering from these problems with the advent of the British rule, and it was continuing at the end of the British rule, because the British people or the British government did not do anything to correct these things. So that is why India was continuing to suffer. Depleted or depreciated economy. At the time of independence, Indian economy was a depleted economy. Depleted economy refers to an economy where no arrangements have been made to replace the physical assets depreciated due to excessive use. So at the time of independence, Indian economy was a depleted economy. Okay, where no arrangements have been made to replace the physical asset depreciated due to excessive use. So during the Second World War, Indian industries had to work beyond their capacity to meet the increased demand of plant, machinery, equipment, etc. for war. However, the British rulers did not make any arrangements to replace the depreciated physical assets. As a result, British rulers had left a seriously depleted economy. So as I said, during the Second World War, the countries which were involved in it were lacking supplies and they wanted help from India. So Indian industries had to work beyond their capacity to supply them with the essentials for war. And thus, with the depleted machines, the British government did not take any initiative to repair those machines, and thus it was British rulers had left the Indian economy with that depleted form. Amputed economy. British policy of divide and rule always promoted discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, language and culture. So there was a discrimination done by the Britishers on the basis of religion, caste, body color, language, everything. As a result, on the eve of independence, country was geographically divided into two parts, India and Pakistan. Partition of the country virtually disrupted the economy due to problem of rehabilitation of large number of refugees from Pakistan, shortage of raw material for jute and cotton mills, as most of the cotton and jute growing areas went to Pakistan. So why was it an amputed economy? So as the British rule followed a divide and rule policy, they always did discrimination among the people on the basis of caste, religion, body color, culture. So as a result of that, on the eve of independence, India got divided into Pakistan and India. Moreover, this led to a disrupted economy. Why? There were many people coming from Pakistan as refugees. You will hear from your ancestors that they had come and they had to leave everything behind there. So this had happened during those times, and to rehabilitate so many people was a very difficult task for such a backward economy. There was shortage of raw materials because the jute and the cotton mills, because the jute and the cotton growing areas went to the Pakistan or to Bangladesh, and the mills were left over in India. So from where will the raw materials come? So it was an amputed economy. So we come to an end of the chapter. Next we will move on to the next chapter. So it's a request, children, as I am checking the views that who is checking, and at this time I will be deducting 10 marks from your paper in the next exam, those who will not be going through the lectures, and this will be followed. So it's a request. Please don't lose your marks in this way. Please go through the lectures and complete it. Saturday means tomorrow we will sit for a Zoom session. Thank you.